As the Welford Road crowd rise for two of their greatest ever sons, Dan Cole and Ben Youngs. They hope this won't be their last game here. But look at the thousands of people on their feet paying tribute to two of the absolute greatest to ever do it. The two most capped England men's international players of all time. Two of this famous old club's greatest ever sons. A lovely moment.
We better talk about the fact that we're in the playoffs, Coley. So Tigers beat Newcastle, which we're a big part of, and it means that we're in the semi-final on Saturday against Sale Sharks at home.
You say you're a big part of. We had a big 43 minutes energising the crowd, getting the team going.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically taking the piss out of ourselves there. But yeah, we had a big part in terms of running out and running off. And the bit in between, not too much was happening.
Wasn't a lot of running, was there?
To be fair, Coley, I said to you, I was like, at half time, I was like, fucking hell, mate. I was like, are you knackered out there? Like, it's hot and we've got so many phases and playing so many rucks. And you're like, no, I feel good, mate. And then you were like, but actually, when I watch it back, I'm probably just walking everywhere.
Yeah. That's how I review games.
So if people want to know what conversations happen at half time, yeah, there are tacticals, bits and stuff, but there is also conversations like that go on.
There was that conversation. There was one, can we, lads, not get held up or drop it over the line? And can we just catch and pass? That's my usual half-time topic for the lads.
Yeah, but lads, can we please, of all the opportunities we've got, can we please just finish at least two more of them? That would be great.
Anyway, we digress. How did you find the day?
I found the day quite emotionally draining, if I'm honest, Coley. You try, a lot of people ask me, like, how do you feel? And I wasn't really sure how I felt. And then you start thinking, oh, am I supposed to feel a certain way? Am I supposed to feel like this? Am I supposed to, try and draw out every second and think about it and take it all in? It's like impossible. I didn't really know how I was supposed to feel. I didn't really know what I felt. But when I ran out with the kids, and obviously you ran out with Ralph and Henry before me, that was really lovely. But that was more lovely for them and being a part of that. And then it really hit me, actually, was when we came off, Coley. That's when I thought I'd be all right. And then when we got subbed off together and the amazing reception that we got from the Tigers faithful, from everyone, and just sort of like being able to stop for a second and take that in, that's the bit that got me, mate. And to be honest with you, mate, I had to fight back some tears. I didn't crack, but I had a lump in the throat and I thought I was going to go, but I didn't. And it just, for that split sort of 5-10 seconds, that was the moment I was like, wow, like it meant a huge amount getting that reception. Mainly doing it with yourself as well, Coley. But yeah, that was the bit that hit me. What about yourself? How do you find the day, mate?
I think actually got me before the game. I think sort of going to the game was all right. There was a lot of fans. It was a nice day, a lot of fans. So sort of we go to the hotel beforehand to have food. So there's a lot of I had to do a lot of pictures and stuff and a lot of people wishing me well. At that point, which there's normally not because there's not many people around. And then we had a massive cheer when we go from the hotel to the stadium. There was a massive, we'd that walk called the Tigers Prowl. There's loads of fans there and everyone well wishes there. And then during the warm up, they sort of announced when I ran out, I got a sort of clap and then say I was nervous, almost like I probably had the worst warm up I've ever been part of. Just because I was sort of not distracted, but just I don't know, distracted. And then came back in, they announced our names. I think we're on the pitch and you hear massive cheers. And then running out with the boys, I thought it was all right. And then literally got to the top of the tunnel and say, hell, Ralph and Henry. I saw my dad around the corner and then I was just, I started to well up then. So I sort of had to go head down and sort of, we turn around because you come out that Welford Road and you see the sort of, the trade view stand and it's full of people. It's like one of the biggest stands in the country, isn't it? And you hear this noise of the stadium and it was, that bit got me. So I sort of had head down. I was welling up there. So I had to head down and just try not to fall down the steps and just got onto the pitch and almost ran into the beer barrel, the whiskey barrel with the ball on top of it. I'd send one of my kids around that and then ran onto the pitch. Didn't know which side we were on. Just head down, ran out, almost ran into the Newcastle team, had a picture. Then you came out. And as you came out, I let my kids go. And then I think they sort of ran back up the steps, but as they ran back up the steps, the team came out, and Julian Montoya had to sidestep him because I think he was about to wipe both of them out, which I only found out later on. But yeah, that moment, and then so once we had gone through that and say we kicked off, I was actually all right, and then obviously there was great reception as we came off as well, and even after the game and meeting the 300 Club, it was brilliant. But yeah, before the game, I probably didn't look like I appreciated it. I massively did. If anyone was listening, I did. I just was a bit emotional at that point, so that's why I sort of put my head down and just went.
It's really overwhelming, isn't it? As you say, Coley, we met the 300 Club after the game. The sort of, I suppose, welcome
Legends of Leicester.
300 Club. Legends of Leicester, mate. It was great to see Paul Dodge,
Peter Wheeler,
and many others, and they sort of welcomed us into the 300 Club, that was a lovely touch as well. I thought the club did an awesome job, and it's really difficult because they were trying to make it a great day for ourselves and Brownie, of course, and others, whilst equally we had a job to do to make sure that we secured a home semi-final. So you're right. I thought the fans, just a big thanks to everyone that cheered, and genuinely that moment I'll never forget, and it was awesome. You know, with the running out though, Coley, I did the same, to be fair. Once we had the picture on the pitch of the kids, which was a lovely moment, I gave Etty to Boris and Billy, to be fair, she was terrified. She was so nervous about running out. Absolutely terrified, bless her. So anyway, we went out, and then I gave Etty to Boris, and I said, right, head back in. And he was like, yeah. So as he went to run in, Big Ches, lover of the pod, comes charging around the corner through the flags and the flag bearers. Same leg, same arm, mate. And honestly, I thought he was going to just skittle the entire family. So then I was like, no, come back. Because it was like a stampede of the boys running out behind. So, I nearly had the same as what happened to Ralph and Henry, Coley, the entire pack running over the top of them. Would have been disaster, mate. Game delayed, stretchers out for children, Big Red crying.
I got a video. George Martin was actually on the terrace and he filmed it, and I didn't realise how close my boys came to getting Julian, just showing no mercy and just sitting them down as he comes out.
Was George Martin a bit sad that he couldn't run out with you?
He did in the week ask if he could be with my kids, if he could hold my hand and walk out.
Oh, so good.
But to be honest, Ben, imagine the reception George got at our live shows. Imagine if he'd come out as well.
Well, he'd have shown us up. He'd have shown us up, wouldn't he?
A, he'd probably shown us up, but B, I reckon the stadium roof would have popped off.
It would have.
So
it would have.
Good job he didn't.
Right, we've actually got some clips, Coley, because it's all a bit of a blur. So should we listen to the first one when we walk out?
A lovely moment as everybody rises for Leicester's favourite son, Dan Cole, on with his twin boys there, Ralph and Henry. And here comes the latest, Ben Youngs. So many caps between them all, so many Leicester appearances. And what a fantastic send-off for him and his family.
Leicester's favourite son. So let's just think about this season. I've been called the oldest swinger in town, and now you have been called Leicester's favourite son.
Well, I'm sorry that you didn't get the commentator obviously used his lines on me, and then you were like, and there's Ben Youngs. I will say, I am born in Leicester, so therefore I can. You unfortunately you were born in Norfolk, so you can't claim every place you've been.
We've obviously got Richard III. That's a big talking point in Leicester. So are you ahead of Richard III? Maybe listeners could write in. Let us know. We'll do a little vote.
Again, Richard III, he died here. Hopefully, when my time finishes, I won't be buried under a car park for 500 years. I actually parked on top of that car park. My mum used to work at the grammar school. She was a lab technician at the grammar school. We used to go into Leicester on Saturday mornings and park in that car park, wherever they found him. As a kid, I've parked on top. We used to go to Leicester Market Saturday mornings. I've parked on top of Richard III. There you go.
You've parked on Richard III. I hope
the cycle's complete.
Ralph and Henry also got a big shout out, mate. My kids, they haven't seen the clip yet. When they do, they're going to be a bit devastated that they didn't get the name shout out.
Well, don't worry. I probably won't be showing my kids that for a few years because Henry's ego's just blown up. He's like, Dad, I'm so popular. It's like, don't think it's you, mate. In all honesty, He was loving life though. He came in the change, well, they both came in the change room afterwards. Henry started tidying up. Then he's got his new Nike trainers on, and he was like, I've got Nikes on. And then Checker had Nikes on. He's like, you got Nike? We're cool. And Michael Checker's like, yeah, I'm actually sponsored by Nike. And Henry went straight over his head. And then we just went around going like, you're cool. Nike, cool. It was just like, yeah, he thinks he's made it. We'll have to.
I love Ralph
parenting
Henry.
this week.
I was getting plenty of high fives off the lads, and then they were like, Ben, so Ralph hits subscribe and Henry hits the like button. I was like, lads, I love it. I said, maybe one day you'll be YouTubers. And they looked at each other and they were like, yeah. And then they literally high-fived each other and like, that's how our dream's complete.
I know, yeah. It is mad. The kids, like, we grew up wanting to be like, I wanted to be like a Formula One racing driver, an astronaut or something like that. And they basically, kids just want to be YouTubers nowadays.
Yeah.
We're living the dream. Ultimately, Ben, we're living the dream, aren't we? We're YouTubers. So,
well, this is the thing for listeners to like, we're not cool because we run around playing rugby or anything like that. Like, we're just dad. However, the fact that now we have a YouTube channel, we're like, nah, like, you know what? Dad's pretty cool. He's pretty down with it. Like, that's the bit that they actually admire, which is slightly concerning.
It certainly is. I also probably have to apologise to you for Ralph's behaviour when he decided to just put his hands in the ice bath while you were trying to get showered, and then he just kept coming up to you and putting his hands on you. You had to fake being like, oh, it's really cold, leave me alone. No, he went from fighting George Martin to just going around like putting his cold wet hands on everyone. I was like, oh God. I
was thankful because I was heating up, so I was just sitting there enjoying a cold beer, and I was actually thankful for the cold hands just to try and bring down my heat. I was like a red hot radiator.
It was hot yesterday. We've got a question from Dominic. How do you prepare for a professional rugby game and entertain your kids in the minutes before it starts?
It's hard. Yesterday was challenging, as we said at the beginning, really, Coley, wasn't it? Like the emotional ride of it and everything like that, and trying to like, oh, I should feel a certain way, and I'm not sure. But in short, I think that moment you can switch from being ready to play to actually switch to, I'm with the family, I'm going to enjoy this moment, and this is really nice. So it's not like, it's not like a distraction. It's actually just a lovely moment that you get to share with them. And I think, the older you get and the more, Coley, we've been through a lot, you can flick the switch pretty quickly between being on and ready to go to, okay, now I can do this and have a laugh and do that, and then equally like switch again within training or a game and be able to do that. So that moment, really, to be fair, like the kids are all good. It's just, they loved it. They're excited for it. Billy was terrified, but the other two were up for it. And you just kind of get a moment to enjoy. And then once you hand over and you get ready for kickoff, you just naturally, I don't know, you're so trained to just to flick the switch and be ready to go again that you can just park stuff really quickly.
I agree. I literally, as soon as the kickoff started, ref blew his whistle, I was like, I'm just in rugby mode. So yeah, it was a bit strange. Also, got a question from Sam. Why wasn't Ben's daughter wearing Tigers kit?
So we moved house about 5 weeks ago, and Billy has got Tigers shirts because the club, every birthday, they give the anyone with a family, anyone with kids, they get a new shirt every year, don't they, Coley, for their birthday, which is a nice little thing they do. So Boris's one, he couldn't find his either, so he had one from the archive, which was about 3-4 seasons ago. Etty had the latest one, which we found in the bottom of her sort of toys, sort of like baby toys and all that like stuff. So we managed to find that. Billy, we couldn't find it. We actually couldn't find it, but she was happy. She wanted to wear a dress anyway, so it was all good. But it wasn't the fact that she doesn't have one. It was more the fact that we couldn't find any of them. So we couldn't find Boris's, but he had an old one, luckily, that he just about squeezed into. Etty, the youngest, was the one that had the updated shirt. So, that is why.
We've talked a little bit about walking off the pitch. There's another clip from the day. Should we listen to that?
As the Welford Road crowd rise for two of their greatest ever sons, Dan Cole and Ben Youngs. They hope this won't be their last game here. But look at the thousands of people on their feet paying tribute to two of the absolute greatest to ever do it. The two most capped England men's international players of all time. Two of this famous old club's greatest ever sons. A lovely moment.
So we're trying to milk it. I love it. The commentators sort of helping us lap it up. You know, we're waving to all the stands, walking off. And the ref just like, no, right, I've had enough now. Let's get on with it. Crouch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Game's moved on. Game's moved on already.
Game moves on quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I was also thankful was from a sort of selfish point of view, is I was thinking, imagine a line out right on the halfway line on the left hand side, and then we got subbed off and we only had to walk off just 3 meters.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, we're off. Bye, thank you.
That dawned on me afterwards because we only played like 3 minutes second half, but I thought it was actually quite a good moment in regard to, as it was, there was a set piece on the far side of the pitch, so we could sort of, yes, we actually got to walk off and take our time. Whereas I did think, like, imagine just to say getting subbed off to the line out in front of the dugout, opening kick-off, they kick off, you kick it back to the halfway in front of the dugout, and it's like, right, lads, off you come. It's like,
yeah. Czech's like, get them off now. Get them off now. Now's the time, get them off. No, Czech was also, you know, like they say, the club were class in terms of how they do it. And whether it was planned or not, I don't know. But yeah, it was just the way it was set up. But it is amusing. You sort of, you walk off, you take it all, and then literally we sit down, don't we, put our bibs on and we start having a yarn, and then we start shouting and moaning about stuff that's going on the pitch for certain incidents, like a yellow card for a handoff. And it's like, and it's forgotten about, and away we go. He could have plugged the podcast, though. The commentator could have plugged the podcast. Yeah.
You know, we could all help each other in the media, grow the game.
Oh, by the way, Dan Cole fan club, big shout out to them. They were there yesterday. Did you see him? I did see him. With them.
I didn't stop because I was with the kids, but you had a photo. I know because I think I went around because I went and got the kids in the corner, and we should have, because we got pulled aside, didn't we? So we had to see.
Yes.
There's a lot of people I need to apologise to because I didn't really. Probably could have been out there hours signing stuff, but we do actually have to get back in the change room and have a debrief because we have to have a game next week. But we're supposed to walk around the team, then we got pulled aside. We had a photo with a couple of 300 guys, which was great. Pete Wheeler. Had a chat to him, and then we started walking around, and then got a massive reception off the terrace. We got our kids from the sort of corner, which is about a third of the way around the pitch. So I got them, and they started running around, and then we sort of did a full length of the trade view stand and waving and saying, we saw the Dan Cole fan club there. And then, but I want, if you sort of go there and have a photo, then you can't do the rest of the pitch because it's kind of you have to sign stuff. So I did that anyway, and then I went sort of further round and did everything, and saw like Paul Dodge and the 300 club guys. John Duggan and stuff in the middle of the pitch, so that was so nice. So there's a lot of people there who I had signs and stuff for us, which have been, unfortunately, didn't get around to have photos with because you kind of wanted to, but you knew that you wouldn't be able to get round to everyone. So kind of have to apologise to people, and I did end up going in the corner. I was probably a bit strict as well because I gave a shirt to a guy called Matthew after the game, and that was in the corner, and then basically. I was kind of like, literally, we've got 2 minutes, we've got to go in. So it's like, right, I can have photos and I'll sign stuff, but you've got to take them and you've got to be good to go. So, when you're being a bit like sharp because you're like, we'll just stop and chat, but I can't because I've got to go, I'm sorry. And it felt a bit like, I don't want people to think I was being miserable yesterday. I just wanted to get around to as many people as possible. And then we obviously got dragged in. So
no, it's so hard because you're trying to enjoy the lap and everything like that, and then as soon as you go over to one pocket, you're there for 10 minutes or so, and it's impossible. And equally, they, at some point, we get the tap to say check once you're all in now. So no, thanks to everyone. A big shout out also, Coley, to a couple I've met a number of times now. They travel all the way from Northumbria. They travel all the way from Northumbria for every game, mate, every home game. It's like a 500-mile round trip. And I saw them again yesterday, had a photo with them. So I promised him a shout out. Tell me if you travel further than that. If you're a Tigers fan and you come to all the home games and you travel further than that, that is impressive. So I expect them to be there at the weekend, actually, Coley. I think season ticket holders can get access to tickets now, and it goes on general sale at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. So let's hopefully make sure that we get it packed out at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road at the weekend.
Well, we have the best fans in the country. So, by far.
We need to give a shout out to listener Spike Hunt, who's also been a steward at Welford Road for 20 years. This was his last game. He is like us, mate. He's bowing out. But does he now get one more game? So, Spike, get in touch and let us know. It was meant to be your last game tomorrow, but given the fact that we're in a home semi-final, have you got one more game? Let us know. Get in touch. So, big shout out to Spike Hunt, 20 years of service as a steward at Welford Road. Well done, mate.
Question from Mitch. I'm really starting to enjoy this Tigers version of The Last Dance, but my question is, Who is the Michael Jordan and who is the Dennis Rodman out of yourselves, Mike Brown, Julio Montoya, and Andre Pollard?
Well, Coley is definitely Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Kerr was only there for the final three, but he coaches. Incredible three-point thrower. So, yeah, I could be Steve Kerr. I'll do that. But who can you be?
Well, I'd say Pollard is the Jordan, given the fact that he's won pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Goal kicking, everything like that, mate. He just doesn't feel pressure, it seems. So I'm going to go Pollard with Jordan. Dennis Rodman. Let's go Mike Brown, just because the fact he's anything but Dennis Rodman. If you could have two polar opposites, then that is it. So let's put Mike Brown as the Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I want to see Brownie drive off on a Harley Davidson having a beer after the game.
I just want to see Brownie having a beer, to be honest with you, mate.
That's what I envisioned Brownie after the game was Dennis Rodman. He's got a bandana on, a leather jacket, and he's just on a motorbike.
Maybe this is it. When the season actually does finish, the real Mike Brown / Dennis Rodman is just going to be unleashed. It's like he's had it in him all these years and never knew it, and he just totally loses the plot. Flies to Vegas, goes missing for 4 days, comes back.
Rodman goes to Vegas and Jordan has to get him, whereas like Brownie's gone to Blackpool. Have to get him back.
He's on one of the rides.
He's on
Mike,
the Big
you can't
Dipper.
keep going around on that roller coaster, mate.
He's shacked up in the Premier Inn in Blackpool, just on the Big Dipper. Right, I think you can be Scottie Pippen because Pippen's like
Scottie Pippen.
He's the sort of side, well, not the side man. Pippen has a bit of a bad arc in that, doesn't he? Because he's a great player, but he's overshadowed by Jordan. But then he plays alongside Jordan. So I'm thinking if Jordan's Pollard, then you can be Pippen, and then Montoya. I don't know any of the Chicago Bulls, so he's going to have to be Jerry Krause, the general manager.
On Monday when we go in, I'm gonna call him Jerry and just see. He will go over his head. He won't have a clue. But there we go.
He won't have a clue. And when he finds out, he'll be absolutely filthy about it. But
he will be filthy about it. So, Coley, in short, mate, it's a massive week for us. Like, give the listeners a bit of an insight. How's the group feeling? How is everyone?
Good. I think I'll talk about ourselves for a bit longer. But I think as at the weekend, the Newcastle game, having that send-off, I think is sort of it's probably going to allow the group just to focus on the semi-final. You know what I mean? Like, I think the club done it well, the Czechs done it well. Where the fact that sort of that's not it's out the way now, basically. You know what I mean? And we've got another game, but everyone can just focus on the semi-final. And yeah, so we played Sale, have been a bogey team, and we beat them last time we played them, but they are, that came down to the final couple of plays in the game, didn't it? Really? I mean, they were up by 4 tries at half time against us, so it's going to be a tough week. We know that. We're going to have to knuckle down. Work starts, I'm sure, tonight. Well, we've already been sent out the game and the review to look at. Monday morning we'll turn up and we'll get stuck into review of what we've done and how we're going to play Sale, and obviously look at the clips how we played them recently and everything, their game against Exeter and moving forward. But yeah, it's there's a lot of work to be done this week.
There is indeed an exciting week, and we can't wait, and we look forward to seeing you all there on Saturday afternoon at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. And thank you. Just last time to say thank you very much for making Saturday so special for both Coley and I. It was awesome. And as Coley mentioned, we've had that little moment, and now we get to focus on the semi-final and all things that we've worked towards. So roll on Saturday.